All right. And good day, every single solitary person. Good day to you, and welcome to today's edition of Truly Foundation in A Course in Miracles with your temporary guide and host, Oliver Blue. And I am delighted to be your temporary coach and teacher and inspiration. I am inspired. I am happy. I am grateful to be with you and to be as you. For today is the day that we acknowledge the oneness that we all share together equally. And so today we're going to continue our descent to the end of this project, which will end when we complete lesson 365. Today we're going to be looking at lesson 325. I'm doing my counting on my fingers. That means we have 40 more lessons before we land this project. And it's been fun. It's been such a growing experience for me personally, hopefully for you. I've met some tremendous brothers and sisters along the way. Some have jumped on, some have jumped off, some have stayed on. But the goal will be reached. We are going to finish all of these lessons. And yes, it's going to take about a complete 40 more days on top of, we're going to be past a year and a half. That means we just took our time. When you're on a good journey, you take your time and smell the roses. And so I'm just delighted to have taken on this project. I'm delighted to have to continue to the end, to the very end. And when we get to the end, it will only be the beginning. That's right. It'll only be the beginning. And I think, like the Course says, we will realize that this journey that we're on is without a distance. That actually we haven't gone anywhere. We've just realized that where we are is the only place that we could be, and that is in the heart of God. And if you've read any of the texts associated with A Course in Miracles, in fact, I want to read the last little paragraph in the text. The last sentence in the text. The last sentence in the text reads like this: For we have reached where all of us are one. So it is only fitting that the last sentence of the text would recognize the central theme in A Course in Miracles, which is our oneness. And so it says here that, for we have reached where all of us are one, and we are home. So oneness is our real home. The reality of the fact that there is but the one, there is but God, or there is but love, and there is nothing else. And everything that could ever be is contained in that oneness. Everything that could ever be expressed or experienced is in the one thing. So oneness has been the theme from day one. of us beginning this journey of completing the 365 workbook lessons out of A Course in Miracles. And so, for we have reached where all of us are one. We are home. So, if you want to know where home is, home is your oneness with all living things. The oneness of Creator and creation, that's home. That is real home. That is your eternal home. Coming to accept the oneness that we all share, that is home. The equality that we share, that is home. The perfection that we share, that is home. The love that we share, that is home. The reality that we share, that is home. The knowledge that we share is home. The truth that we share, our true identity, that's home. The fact that there is only one law, and that is the law of love and the law of God, that is home. The mere fact that home is unalterable, it cannot be altered. So there is no homes away from home. There's only the one home. That eternity is our home. And that our home only has the one option. There's not multiple choices. So our home is unambiguous. Now, we already know that our home can be unrecognized, but it cannot be changed because our home is changeless. Our home is everything that God created. And only God and only love creates reality. Nothing else does. Nothing else creates reality but love or but God. That our home is beyond learning. It's not something that we learn about. It is beyond time and space. That means it's beyond the physicality of this world. It's beyond that. It transcends time and space, our real home. Here it says that our home has no opposites. There's no opposite to our home. It's our home and there's nothing else. I love the absoluteness that the Course lays out for us. I love the certainty that the Course lays out, the sureness that the Course lays out. So there are no opposites to our real home. It says there are no beginnings to our home, and there is no end to our home. And here it concludes that our home merely is. Present tense. It merely is. It merely is. Who you are merely is. What you are merely is. With all the attributes that we have just shared. Timeless, formless, changeless. For we have reached where all of us are one. So it's all about our oneness. It's all about our equality. It's all about our quality. It's all about our true self, where all of us are one, where there are no differences. We have reached where all of us are one, and we are home. Where creation and creator can only be. Where the creator will only have his creation to be. Where creation is in the place where it can only be. So it reads like this: for we have reached where all of us are one, and we are home, where you would have us be. And that is so fitting of an end to a journey. And so this section that we're on now, that is helping us to understand what true creation is, as we have studied, and we're still in the lessons on this section on what is creation. And if you've been listening over the last 4 or 5 sessions, you will know that that we've been sharing on the reality of creation, and we have come to some very hard conclusions. That creation is every thought of God. Every single solitary thought that is in the mind of the Creator is who we are, because it goes on to say that we are creation. So just think about it. You are every idea that's in the mind of the Creator. Yes, you are every one of them. Every thought of God is contained in your memory. Just think about that. And then it goes on to say that every thought of God in number is infinite, meaning it has no beginning and no end. So God is still thinking about your creation. God is still thinking about the beauty of your creation, the aliveness of who you are, the absolute splendor of your being. It goes on and on and on and on. There is no end to the love that is shared between Creator and creation. There's no end to the happiness and the joy and the peace that is shared between the Creator and creation. And when you compare that idea to the pettiness that we get stuck in this lifetime, it's like wake up and smell the coffee. We are creation. And we're being called to hear the voice that is within us, all of us, that is calling us back to the awareness of our holiness, that the holiness that we share with our Creator, the mere fact that this holiness that we share results in the fact it results in an experience where you can't find where one begins and the other ends. For they're one and the same. That's what oneness is. There is no demarcation. There is no line drawn. There is no separation. There's only one. And we'll keep hammering that idea home, because it is in the embracing of this idea or reality of our oneness that makes all things clear. It is in the embrace of this oneness that wipes away all tears, that heals all pain. So today, our lesson comes from lesson 326, and I am going to read it here. The idea for today is that I am forever an effect of God. I am forever an effect of God. Now you'll notice, oh, good morning, Heidi. I'm glad you're here. Notice here that the I am in this sentence, the am is not capital. The A and M is not capital. So it's not talking about your created self. Because we know that I am and God are one. So the I am that is referring here to is the I that appears to be living in this world. The separated I. So I am forever an effect of God. Because in reality, the I am is a cause. In reality, who we are cause. We're not effects. The effects, cause and effect, is a law of this universe. Cause and effect is not a law of God. Let me say that again. The laws that govern this universe, this world, this universe, which represents the idea of duplicity or separation, are not the laws that govern the laws of love. According to the law of love, there's only one law, and that is the law of love. No, I'm live, sweetheart. You got me. You got me live and in color, Heidi. I'm sitting in the chair this morning. You got the real thing this morning. And I hope you can feel that. Yes, I hope you can feel that. So here's something. The laws that govern this universe, like the law of cause and effect, the law of gravity, the law of polarity, where there's an opposite to everything. All of these natural laws that govern this natural universe, these laws are not the laws that govern heaven. These are not the laws that govern the perfect creation that God is and the perfect creation that we are. These are just the laws that were put in place to hold together this universe. And when we say these are not the laws of heaven, heaven is just symbolic. These are not the laws of love. These are not the laws of God. These are not the laws of perfection. Because in perfection, there is no duality. So there is no polarity. There are no opposites. There are no cause and effects. There's only cause. So there is a difference between natural law and the ultimate laws that transcend all of the natural law, and that is the law of love. Paul said it this way in one of the New Testament books. I think it was Romans. He said, the law of the Spirit, which is the law of love, or the law of God, which is the ultimate law. Like it said, the law of love or God, that is only one law. But this universe, with its physicality and time continuum, its form, nature, natural law, the laws that govern that and holds that together, they are only temporary laws. They're not permanent law. They're not the permanent law. The only permanent law is love. Paul said it this way. He said the law of the Spirit of life in oneness, or in Christ. That's what it means. Christ means oneness. He said the law of the Spirit of life in Christ has made me free from the law of what? Sin and death. See, the law of sin and death is a natural law. So when you realize that you are a part of the law of the Spirit of life in Christ, in oneness, that it makes you free from all the natural laws, including the law of sin and death. So there is no natural law that can hold you in contempt. There is no law of the universe that can judge you and hold you in contempt of that law. That's why it's so important that we understand that there is only one law. And I said it earlier, that home is reality, knowledge, truth of one law. When you really understand what home is, who you are of the one law, and that is the law of love. It says the law of love, or the law of God, which is unalterable. That means none of the natural laws can supersede the law of love. That means you can never be found guilty of anything in this natural world. That means that this world could never have anything on you. That means that you don't belong to this natural world, but that you belong to love only. There isn't a world out here. There isn't another universe. There isn't another situation or circumstance or condition that can claim ownership to your reality. You are free. You are free. You're in creation. You was created free, and that's the only way you can ever be. It's free. So to agree to appear in a dream as an individuated self in a body of limitation, in a world of duplicity, is a huge huge step away from your reality. That's why if you can be here and withstand what the challenges are here in this experience, it doesn't get any lower than this. It doesn't get any lower than this. And so you stepped from your glory. You stepped away from pure glory to have this human experience. But it has nothing on you. Absolutely nothing on you. You're still free. And the whole idea is in this awakening process is for us to but remember that we are free. Remember that we are whole. Remember that we are complete. To remember our innocence, our guiltlessness, our sinlessness. Yes. The law of the Spirit of life in Christ has made you free from the law of sin and death. That's why death has nothing on you. There's no need to be afraid of death. Death doesn't exist from your place of reality. When you discover who you are, death doesn't even exist for you. None of the laws of the natural can claim hold to you. Only in experiences, but not in reality. You are free. And you remain that way. You remain as God created you. And so today, workbook lesson 326, I am forever an effect of God. And it starts out with a prayer of affirmation. And I'm just going to read through the prayer. It says, Father, I was created in your mind. Notice now. You was not created in your mother's womb, but you were created in the mind of God. That's where your creation took place, in the mind of God. I was created in your mind, a holy thought that never left its home. If you are a thought in the mind of God and you never left the mind of God, then how do we say that we got here? I am forever your effect. And you are forever, and forever are my cause. As you created me, I have remained. Where you established me, I still abide. So it is God who creates and establishes our reality. And all of your attributes abide in me. Because it is your will to have a creation so like your cause, that cause and its effects are indistinguishable. So even though we have this language of duality here, like cause and effect are two different things. Creator and creation is two different things. That's duality. That's still duality. That's still separation. Even though this language is being used, it's only used because we think that we're what? We're separate. It says, but in reality, we are what? We are indistinguishable. You cannot distinguish you from the creator in reality. Why? Because you're one. So that puts to bed all the language of duality. It says, let me know that I am an effect of God, and so I have the power to create like God or like love. And as it is in heaven, so it is on earth. That sounds like the prayer that Jesus taught his disciples when he said, what? Let it be on earth as it is in heaven. As it is in heaven, on earth. In other words, this is another statement that what heaven and earth has become one. It says that your plans I follow here. It is the plans of God that we follow here. And at the end, I know that you will gather your effects into the tranquil heaven of your love. This is like a love story. Where earth will vanish. Earth will vanish. All form will eventually vanish. All form will eventually vanish. And all separate thoughts, which are forms, because thoughts are forms also. It's just in the form of a thought. And all separate thoughts will unite in glory as the one creation of God. So this is like it's really written like a real love story here. Cause and effect becoming one to the point where what? It's indistinguishable. What we thought we were in dreams. What we thought we were as creatures that were born. What we thought we were as these individuated selves. Become united with the glory of the one creation that has always existed, to the point where there is no distinguishing between creation and creator, or creator and creation. The natural mind cannot wrap itself around that idea. So it concludes by saying, let us today behold earth. Let us today behold earth disappear. At first transformed, right? The transformation goes before the disappearance. Your transformation goes before the disappearance. So let us behold the transformation which goes before the disappearance. But the disappearance is imminent, that all things in form, all things in time will eventually what? Disappear. There's a book out there called The Disappearance of the Universe. I recommend you read it. It's based on the ideas in A Course in Miracles. And the whole idea is your false self, the self we thought we were, the self we thought that's living in this world, it will disappear. Eventually, this whole universe will disappear. All the laws that held this universe together, all the natural laws, they will disappear. Why? Because they're all temporary. They're not eternal. They're all temporary. They were all set up when the belief of separation entered into the mind of God's creation in order to preserve humanity in the dream of separation, lest we get lost into oblivion. And so it says, let us today behold earth disappear, at first transformed and then forgiven. So transformation leads to what? Forgiveness. When we wake up to the reality of the truth of who we are, that's the transformation. And in that transformation, there is an immediate response of forgiveness, where we let go of all of the illusions. We let go of all of the ideas, all of the thoughts that we made up as a substitute to the real thoughts of God, to every thought of God. We let go of every idea, every hallucination, every vain imagining that humanity have imagined that came out of a place of separation. We let it go. We forgive it. We forgive it, or we give it up for the truth. That's the miracle that we experience. The miracle is simply a giving up falsity for the truth, giving up unreality for reality. That's the miracle that we experience in the dream. And then ultimately everything fades entirely into the one holy will of God. Everything. That's the reconciliation that Paul talks about, that all things have been reconciled back unto the one will of God. That God was in Christ, reconciling what? The whole world back into himself. Bringing everything back home, or waking everything up to the mere fact that it is at home. Just like you would walk into your child's bedroom at night and you know that they're in a state of dreaming, and they're thinking that there's someone else. Even yourself, when you dream at night, you're thinking that something is going on. And it seems so real. But when you wake up from the dream, you realize what? That you were not in a foreign country. You were not in another state. You were not in someone else's house or some arena or wherever that dream took place. But no, you were exactly where you were when you fell asleep, safe and at home. Here it says that everything fades entirely into the holy will of God, or the holy home of God. That we indeed, like it says, the holy thought that never left home. That we were created in the mind of God as a holy thought that has never left home. Like the Course says, ideas leave not their source. Thoughts leave not their source. You have never left your source. You have never left love. You have never left God. And so when God takes the final step, when love takes the final step to put to rest all the dreams, all of the hallucinations and vain imaginings that we have made up, when that finally come to rest, everything fades into its original state. of peace. Herein lies the peace of God. And so, as the Course says in its 3-sentence summary, nothing that is real can be threatened. Your reality cannot be threatened. Nothing that is unreal exists. Therein lies what? The peace of God. That means what? We remain in the heart of God, where we've never left, as one with, and not something that is what? Indistinguishable. Not something that is distinguishable, but we are indistinguishable where love exists. In other words, you cannot separate us from love. You cannot separate us from God. It cannot. It's impossible to happen. God would have to be destroyed. Love would have to be destroyed if we could really be separate from love itself or from God itself. It is absolutely impossible. So indeed, we are in effect until we wake up to the reality of our oneness. And we're no longer in effect. We're one. Where there's one, there is no cause, there is no effect, there's just the one. And this is our ultimate awakening. This is our ultimate recognition or awareness that there is but the one. And we are that. And so I'm not going to belabor this lesson, because this lesson is pretty straightforward. Like all the lessons in the Course. And that is that we're on this journey without a distance. That we ain't really gone anywhere. We ain't really done nothing. And that the day is here where we realize and can recognize that we remain as God created us. That everything is as it always was. As it always will be. And nothing can change that. Not even dreams. So there you have it. Workbook lesson 326. And we're going to be back on tomorrow for our next session. And we invite you to join us. Thank you, Heidi, for joining me this morning. And I send you all the love that you already are. And I receive all the love that you have sent us here and sent me here. Thank you so much for being here. See you on tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.